in order to use my time efficiently while I'm driving around. Sometimes I listen to the news. Sometimes I used to listen to the news more often, but I realized that world events and local news don't change much. So it's nothing new I could learn from the news, and it does not really impact my life. So if some president in the United States had some affair with some woman, it's a human emotion involved in that. If another guy sends some troops to war, also it's about human emotion. So can I change it? No. Is anything I can learn from? Maybe, yes, maybe, but let's say if I know that the pattern is the same, how they killed the Romanian president in the past, how they killed Saddam Hussein, how they got rid of other country presidents in order to do stuff, in order to achieve their bigger plan. Yeah, maybe if I know that information, because I know how it goes, and I expect future events, can I make a change? No. If I tell someone that, this is going to happen, let's say Americans are trying hard for the last 50 years to get into Russia, and people say, no, it's all about oil money and all that stuff. I can tell you, I see the divide and conquer game, how they divided those Eastern European countries that were protecting the Russia in the past and stuff, and how they move around, and they go through Syria, and now they want access through Iran, and all these country presidents who oppose American invasion because they know what Americans want. They are getting either killed or replaced or moved out of the way with force or with political tricks. Like Americans are trying to convince the international community that there is a need for military intervention because of a war in an area, a war that they created. How they created a war? Oh, there are so many tools. In the past, they used this very specialized trained agents in the area that were able to manipulate masses. So they were able to create small groups and small pockets that were able to destabilize, mess up with public opinion. So they knew what people want, and what people want generally, they want food and some comfort, maybe entertainment. But if you give people food and you look what these people don't have, okay, if they don't have food, you first make them mad, because it's an efficient way to spread the madness. And once other people who have a lack of food learn that other small groups had the balls, had the courage to do something or to say something, they will step out and they will join that movement, because otherwise people are afraid, especially in communist countries or totalitarian regimes, dictatorship regimes. Those people are afraid because the leaders of those countries want to keep those people in check. And they have a good reason, because you have a country, let's say, where there is not much education. So when people are not educated, guess what? Are easier to be manipulated, but also are not at the highest, they are at their peak of using their brain. So if you look at people who are not really educated, I will now give you examples what type of jobs those people take. But if you look at the way they talk and the way they think and the way they act, it's like low-level people. Even they may have some seed of wisdom, brain power and stuff, but because they are not being trained to use the brain power, they are being kept at a low level, either by themselves, like by their own choices, or by a system. And so if you have a few millions of those people who don't have training or who don't have a education, who are not able to discover their own brain power, and who the government is interested to keep them at that level. Why? Because are easier to be controlled and manipulated. Then someone has to do those low-level jobs, like labor, hard labor jobs, like digging ditches, building construction and stuff. So, and also it's cheaper to and you save money by not pumping lots of money into those people education, because it costs money to educate millions of people, or put people into universities. I can tell you from my personal experience, I've been through university and or let's say technical college for a couple of years, and I moved out of that country. I haven't used the resources and the money they invested in me. So lots of people did the same. They went out of the country. They found different opportunities where they could fulfill those skills they learned in that country. So you have a bunch of like a couple of million of uneducated people, or at low-level people who don't know their brain potential, and they are easily moved around. You can, tell those people things, and since their brain is not fully open, even my brain is not fully open. It's just like whatever percent is there. But if I look at myself and compare to, let's say, my younger kids, and I'm thinking, wow, if this kid at this age is so smart, or is able to process so much information, maybe because I did not have access to this type of resources like computers and internet and all sort of information, maybe that's why it took me way longer to achieve the knowledge I have right now. So now if I look at my kids with the available information, probably in 10 years they will not only exceed, but they will surpass my knowledge that it took me 30 years to gain. So you have a couple of millions of uneducated people who are not open, because you teach them that it's comfortable to live that life. So since it is convenient for them, and if you let people to be lazy, yeah, they're going to be lazy. Only those who have the urge to discover and have the passion and willpower to get out of their comfort zone and start learning and start working on learning, only those you don't need to push them from behind. But most people, if they find the comfort in something, and means they have a good place to sleep, enough food, just enough food, some entertainment, some sex, that's enough. You know what else they could want. No, it's just enough. So there are millions of people living with just enough, and you can manipulate those. You can because people greed. That's another emotion. This groups controlled by Americans, they use. So people are always greedy. They always want something more. Even some people are like most people are comfortable, but as long as they don't have to move much. So now, but if you put something on their plate, so don't ask those people to move for the extras, but you give those people extras without doing much. They are happy to take it, yeah, because of the human greed. But now, if you tell those, you know what, you live in this bad country, you live in this bad communist country, communist regime, you know, they are oppressing you. Look at American people or Western industrialized countries people, you know, they live such a good life with less work. You don't want that? Why not? Are you stupid? Are you naive? And people start thinking, start opening their minds. Yeah, seems possible. What I'm supposed to do? Tell me what I'm supposed to do, and I'm going to do it. Oh yeah, let's you help me to get rid of this regime, and we'll take care of that, of the rest. You just go on the streets, and I can even pay. I can give you some money, so you get a bunch of guys, you know, and you go on the streets and you'll get some money, and we take care of the business. So those are ways you start some social movements, and you start people. And if you have these uneducated people who have rage, who are oppressed and controlled, and they want to express that rage, but in the past they could not. Now when they see these pockets of social movement, like small fights and people going on the streets, destroying cars, destroying buildings and stuff, they say, you know what, I'm going out. They can't arrest me. There are too many of us to arrest. You know, they don't have enough police forces, and these people with cameras, you know, post as on the internet, on the international news. They are not going to arrest us, you know. So let's go out. And like the soldiers who join, people who join an army, so they are allowed to kill and do harm other people, and under the protection of law, because they are military, so nobody can touch them or something. They say, you know what, I executed some orders, but who the heck pushed them to join the military? That was their own will. And this thing is, it happens with regular civilians. You know, they have the opportunity to go out, punch people in the face, throw stuff at the police, and destroy stuff. Burn cars and stuff, you know, they get that opportunity. And the West are watching and say, oh yeah, that's good. And the media, who many times is controlled, is picking up the best fights, the best fires on the streets, the most emotional cryings and all those things, and injuries. You know, they pick up the cream of the news for the news, because that stuff sells. And now the news go around and circulate it across the internet, and people, international community say, wow, look at the war in Syria, wow, it's Russians, the bad guy Russians do that, oh yeah, look, who's bombing those things, you know. And people start believing, because, you know, especially the majority who are not really educated, and their brain is shut down. It's shut down because their need for entertainment, their self-teaching of wanting something easy, like you know, watch entertainment news all day long and movies, and of course your brain shuts down. So you control people by giving them entertainment all day long, by connecting them to Facebook entertainment, by connecting them to all other social media stuff, fake news stuff. And now people brains is shutting down. Between work and home is nothing else. They just listen music, and the brain is slowly decaying. It's like going to sleep. And now you have billions of zombies who are very easily to be manipulated. And of course, when they see some war in the news or something, oh, yeah, send the Americans, send them to clean up, yes. And Americans, yeah, that's good job, my guys, that I sent out my pions and whatever, And so they are happy to send out those troops to feed the American war machine and the economy that is also relying heavily on a war machine. And war machine needs oil, so because all those technologies and tanks and submarine and jets and fighter jets and big ships, all requires millions and millions of tons of oil. So everyone is profiting of war in those countries, except those who have no idea what's going on. So now you destroy this little country like Syria, or maybe Iran is going to happen, because you need oil. When you invade Russia, let's say, you need the local oil. It's too expensive to ship oil from different countries, so you need to invade through a country that have resources. So you feed your soldiers, you feed your stuff. And now Russia is surrounded. It's like Eastern European countries have some nuclear heads, like Romania have some nuclear heads. You have right next to Russia is access to Americans right next to Russia. Then south it's Syria, who it's kind of a wide open now. Then almost Iran is almost there, Iraq. So Russians are almost surrounded. So they are only protected to the east. That's it. And you have to see them there in their position, their shoes. They have to defend themselves somehow. So what they do, maybe they just show off that they build some new type of jets, fighter jets, maybe some nuclear heads or whatever. I don't know what they do in order to show that they are prepared, or they are not easy to take. And Putin, I think he does a good job, being a tough guy. He knows the American games, and he knows what's going on. And I don't know if he is able to do anything, but I'm just letting my thoughts out. All these international wars and stuff, they are well orchestrated. There are small pockets, or like small countries, where they have internal battles, fights between faction groups, between religious groups or something. But because those countries are not strategically located for American point of view, why to send some to spend millions of dollars and send troops somewhere in Argentina? Is anything I'm gaining out of Argentina? Okay, maybe some oil, but it's a big country, so if I send some troops there, I'm getting kicked in the butt, and I'm just wasting my time and my money and my soldiers. I'm killing my people. So let the Argentinian people or Colombia people, let them kill themselves. That's okay, we can come up later and clean up and take some of that stuff out as a payment for our efforts. But our priority is the area next to Russia. Okay, so I'm done here. I got to work, and it's not a funny video. See you later. Bye bye.